Australia is a land of staggering contrasts spread out over a landmass almost as big as the continental US. So planning the perfect itinerary entails pinpointing your preferences. Coral reefs, islands, rainforests, and ravishing beaches rim the coast, and rugged canyons and red deserts of haunting beauty stretch across the interior. Travel to Australia can require some long flights, especially if you're visiting from the Northern Hemisphere. A week to 10 days is the minimum recommended time to visit Australia, as distances are vast and jet lag can take a couple of days to pass. Note that if you're planning to see the highlights of both the East Coast and the West Coast, it takes about 5 hours to fly from Sydney to Perth. Welcome to Adventure Travel Channel, your window to the beauty of the world. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing videos. Wherever and whenever you decide to go, Australia is one of the world's most rewarding places to visit, with spectacular scenery, incredible wildlife, and some of the friendliest people on the planet. Let's start our journey. Melbourne and the Great Ocean Road. Australia's rugged south coast is home to one of the country's most staggeringly beautiful stretches of coastline. Fly into Melbourne, the vibrant capital of Victoria, and explore all the fantastic restaurants, shops, museums, galleries, and other attractions. Number 18. The Great Ocean Road. Great Ocean Road is one of the world's most spectacular road trips. Hugging Victoria's dramatic coastline, Great Ocean Road stretches for 243 kilometres. Sheer cliffs plunge to wild beaches dotted with towering rock spires. Lush forests line the hinterland, and the Great Ocean Road's towns reflect the rich history of the area. Built in the 1930s to help provide employment for returning servicemen during the Depression, the road is not only a remarkable engineering feat, it's a memorial to those who lost their lives during World War I. Great Ocean Road is only 100 kilometres from Melbourne, making it possible to visit the region on a day trip from the city. But to really appreciate all the scenery and attractions, and to discover some of the Great Ocean Road's hidden secrets, try to set aside several days to explore the coast. Number 17. Melbourne. Multicultural Melbourne frequently tops the list of the world's most livable cities. Visit this vibrant city at the head of Port Phillip Bay, and you'll see why it's such a popular destination. Australia's second largest metropolis exudes an unmistakably European feel. Grand Victorian buildings recall the city's gold rush bridges, and tree-lined promenades and a tangle of hidden laneways make exploring the city especially rewarding. Culture is a big draw. Art lovers can get their fix at Melbourne's impressive museums and galleries, and foodies will also find plenty to love. Famous Aussie chefs flaunt their talents here, whipping up creative concoctions from around the world. You can feast on everything from Greek, Italian, and Indian cuisine to Spanish and Vietnamese. Number 15 and 16. Tasmania and Hobart. Tasmania is a nirvana for nature lovers. The island is Australia's smallest state and an ideal destination for a self-drive tour. Almost half of its landmass is protected by national parks and World Heritage areas, providing a pristine playground of wild rivers, misty peaks, lakes, and densely wooded forests. It's also called the Apple Isle because it was once one of the world's major apple producers. Today, the state is famous for its fabulous fresh produce and artisan foods. No matter where you go, save time to savour some succulent seafood, fresh fruits and creamy cheeses along the way. This loop through some of Tasmania's top attractions takes about 5 or 6 days, plus a night or two in Hobart at each end. Fly into Hobart, the state capital, and drive or hike to the top of Carin, Mount Wellington, for spectacular views over the city. Browse the shops and galleries at Salamanca Place and see cutting-edge art at Mona. East Coast. Visiting Australia for the first time? This itinerary is ideal if you only have about a week to 10 days to see the highlights. It offers a quintessential slice of the stunning East Coast. Number 14 and 13. Daintree, Rainforest and Kuranda. Nestled in lush rainforest on the misty plateau of the Atherton Tablelands, the pretty little rainforest village of Kuranda makes a fun day trip from Cairns. The cooler climate and luxuriant scenery have long lured artisans and tourists here and offers a respite from the sweltering humidity along the coast. Not only is the destination a treat, but the journey can be just as much fun. To reach Kuranda, you can choose between soaring over World Heritage listed rainforest on the Kuranda Skyrail or chugging up the mountain on a scenic railway, passing rugged ravines and rushing waterfalls. Both options depart from just outside the tourist hub of Cairns. If you have your own car, you can enjoy the rainforest scenery on the self-drive sightseeing route. Once you arrive, popular things to do in Kuranda include strolling through the local markets, dining at cute cafes, marvelling at magnificent Barron Falls, or visiting one of the wildlife parks and nature reserves. And if you're wondering what to do in Kuranda for free, you can soak up the hippie vibe of the village and browse the impressive art galleries. Number 12. Fitzroy Island. About 45 minutes by ferry from Cairns, Fitzroy Island offers a serene dose of sun, sand and sea. Rainforest-fringed beaches are the major draw, where you can snorkel, swim and kayak. To the north of the island, walking trails lead to a lighthouse on the point and a panoramic lookout on the island's peak. You can also explore colourful soft corals at nearby Little Fitzroy Island on a half-day kayak tour. The Fitzroy Island day trip from Cairns includes the round-trip ferry ticket, and you can upgrade your excursion with an activity pass, which includes a picnic lunch, sports equipment such as snorkeling gear and stand-up paddleboards, a stinger suit and a glass-bottom boat tour. Number 11. Sydney. Sydney, the oldest, biggest and most beautiful of all Australian cities, lies amid a seductive intermingling of land and sea. Glide along the glittering harbour on a ferry, see the white sails of the Opera House gleaming in the sunshine, admire the graceful arch of the harbour bridge, and you'll see why this is one of the world's top cities. It's hard to imagine this vibrant state capital of New South Wales was once a convict colony. In 1788, it was at Sydney Cove where Captain Arthur Phillip, commander of the First Fleet, established the first British colony in Australia. Today, you can explore Sydney's fabled history in the narrow, cobbled laneways and historic buildings of the Rocks, and learn about the Gadigal Aboriginal people, the traditional custodians of this land, on guided tours and at the city's excellent museums. Sydney still fizzes with the adventurous spirit of its settlers. Climb the harbour bridge, surf the green barrel breaks at Sydney's golden beaches, or fly over the city on a scenic tour. And the adventures don't end in the city. Wildlife-rich wilderness areas surround the city, providing appealing day trip possibilities. Number 10. North Queensland, Cairns. From Sydney, fly up to Cairns, the most popular gateway to far North Queensland's top tropical attractions, including the World Heritage listed Great Barrier Reef and the Daintree Rainforest, the quaint rainforest village of Kuranda, and Cape Tribulation, where two of the world's richest ecosystems, rainforest and reef, merge in a sublime mingling of blues and greens. Many sightseers use Cairns as a base for trips to these nearby natural jewels, but the town itself offers plenty of tourist attractions and a convivial vacation vibe. Palm-lined streets and the plethora of tour operators in town add to the air of tropical adventure. A favourite pastime here is a stroll along the Cairns Esplanade, a seafront promenade flanked by parks, playgrounds, cafes and water-themed attractions. Number 9 and 8. Great Barrier Reef and Whitehaven Beach. A cruise to one of Australia's greatest treasures, the World Heritage listed Great Barrier Reef, is one of the most popular things to do from Cairns. Stretching for more than 2,300 kilometres, the reef is one of the planet's richest ecosystems, with a dazzling diversity of hard and soft corals and countless species of fish, mollusks and other marine animals, including dolphins, turtles and sharks. Whether you want to snorkel or dive, the best way to see this remote natural wonder is on an organised tour. The 8.5-hour Great Barrier Reef diving and snorkeling cruise from Cairns whisks you out to the reef on a deluxe 100-passenger boat in just over an hour, with an on-board marine biologist. One of the most beautiful beaches in Australia, Whitehaven is a sublime 7-kilometre slice of white silica sand and turquoise sea. This squeaky clean beach lies on Whitsunday Island, the largest island in the chain and a popular spot for day trips and picnics. Once you get there, exploring this exquisite beach is one of the best free things to do in the Whitsundays. To get the most out of your visit here, head out on the walking trails. A highlight is Hill Inlet, a pretty cove at the northern end of the beach, where shifting tides swirl the bright white sand and aqua sea into a marbled mass of colour. From the air, it looks like an abstract watercolour painting. Number 7. Blue Mountains. World Heritage Area is one of Australia's most famous wilderness areas. Encompassing more than 1 million hectares, including Blue Mountains National Park, it lies about 60 kilometres from Sydney in New South Wales and is one of the city's most popular day trips. Named for the blue haze emanating from its many eucalyptus trees, the Blue Mountains is a region of stunning mountain scenery, exceptional biodiversity and rich Aboriginal heritage. Rugged rock formations, pristine eucalyptus forests, abundant wildlife, waterfalls, ravines, and more than 140 kilometres of hiking trails and heritage tracks make this a haven for nature lovers. Wilderness adventures abound. The park's dramatic topography provides a superb setting for rock climbing, canyoning, caving, canoeing, abseiling, mountain biking, horseback riding, and camping. If you're less adventurous, you can view the park's top features via scenic lookouts or on the self-guided Greater Blue Mountains Drive. You can also experience the sweeping vistas via cableway, skyway, and the steepest railway in the world. Number 6 and 5. Brisbane and Gold Coast. Brisbane offers sophisticated big city attractions in a sun-splashed riverside setting. In every season, you'll find countless things to do in this clean, green Queensland capital. Lush parkways punctuate the city, bike and walking paths radiate throughout, and the city hums with innovation and creativity. The Gold Coast is one of Australia's most famous vacation destinations. Surfers' Paradise is the tourist hub of this glamorous coastal strip, which stretches along the southeast Queensland coast, from Kuranda to Southport, and it's a bit like an Aussie version of Miami Beach. Skyscrapers back a beautiful stretch of blonde beach, and designer shops and lively entertainment venues sit a short stroll from the soft sands. Not far from the city, the famous Gold Coast theme parks add to all the exciting things to do. The Northern Territory. The Northern Territory offers a taste of the Australian outback. Stark red deserts, magnificent rock formations, and spectacular wilderness areas are some of the top things to see here. Number 4. Darwin. Bathed in tropical heat, laid-back Darwin is the youngest of the Aussie state capitals and one of its most multicultural. Rich in Aboriginal heritage, the city lies on the doorstep of Asia, and its melting pot of cultures infuses the city with a cosmopolitan feel, despite its remote location on the brink of the Aussie outback. Life is mostly lived outside in this sultry city on the water. You can dine al fresco on fresh caught seafood, stroll through lush botanic gardens, and browse the shops of the vibrant waterfront precinct. Number 3. Uluru, Ayers Rock. In the red centre, World Heritage listed Uluru National Park is one of Australia's most famous tourist attractions. The park's main features include Uluru, formerly Ayers Rock, the 348-metre high red monolith rising from the desert, and the dome-shaped rocks called Katachuda, the Ulgurs, which lie 40 kilometres away from Uluru. Oxidization or rusting of iron in the rock gives the structures their beautiful red colouring. Both sites hold deep spiritual significance to the traditional owners, the Ananu people, who manage the park jointly with Parks Australia. Around dusk, visitors gather at sunset viewing areas to photograph these impressive structures, when the play of colour is at its finest. To really appreciate these sacred sites, join a sightseeing tour led by an Indigenous guide. Western Australia. Western Australia is a land of extremes. Occupying a third of the continent's total area, is the largest of the Australian states, with less than 10% of the country's total population, about 2.21 million people, but you'll be spoiled for choice when it comes to things to do here. Number 2. Perth. On the banks of the sparkling Swan River in Western Australia, Perth is one of the world's most isolated capital cities, but right on its doorstep you'll find a dazzling array of natural wonders. Hauntingly beautiful deserts, gleaming beaches, wildlife-rich islands, and the agricultural bounty of the Swan Valley and Margaret River make rewarding places to visit outside Perth. Distances between attractions can be vast, but the scenery is worth it. Striking rock formations rise from golden sand deserts, and wildflowers erupt from the scorched earth in a breathtaking blaze of colour from September through November. Number 1. Rottnest Island. Rottnest Island is one of the best short trips from Perth. This popular weekend getaway comprises a slow-paced, car-free splotch of sand with an appealing blend of sun-soaked beaches, historical attractions, and wildlife. In 1696, the Dutch navigator Willem de Vlaming landed on the island's dazzling shores and called it paradise. But he mistook the cute, wallaby-like quokkas for rats and named the island Rottnest, Rat's Nest. Today, these sweet marsupials are one of Rottnest Island's top attractions, along with its beautiful reef-fringed bays and beaches lapped by turquoise water. The best time to visit Australia depends on where you want to go. To maximise your sightseeing, it's a good idea to avoid the tropics in the wet season, December to April, but every season offers unique experiences. Thanks for watching. Tell us in the comments which Australian destination you're most excited to visit. And don't forget to subscribe for more travel inspiration.